especially when it passes through time zones, along with its charts to plot its course. So in order for a ship not to end up lost at sea, every time it came into harbour, it would want to take the opportunity to check that its onboard clock was still accurate. And to do that, they'd expect the harbour to make the announcement of exactly the right time for them to set their clocks by. And this is done by firing one cannon out over the harbour so that all can hear at precisely 12 o'clock. Now originally, time was maintained here by a device from the Royal Navy in Portsmouth called a time ball. It was a mechanism situated on the front of the Castilian Palace behind you. It's a large brass sphere that rose into the air and then dropped at precisely midday. Another soldier stood on the balcony with flags would signal this moment happening to the gunners standing ready on the platform. Now we don't have a time ball replicated these days. We use satellite time now. So if you've recently got off a plane and changed your watch and want to make sure it's actually right, then I assure you, you can set your watch by us, because we continue to take this as seriously as it was always done. Now the guns that you're going to see us using are a set that in 2011, with EU funding, we've had made. So these are replicas, but they're exact replicas of one of our original cannons that we have here in the saluting battery. And before we had this set, we were using cannons that we'd collected from around the harbour, where they'd been sunk into cement and used as mooring for ships. But some of these are very old guns. One even has the cipher of George III on it, which tells us it may even have been left here by Lord Nelson on the way to the Battle of the Nile. So they're very expensive and very rare antiques. By having this set of replicas made, we now can relegate those for conservation as museum pieces for all time. If you do come down and join us for the tour, you'll be able to see those original antique cannon. But this particular set give us now a matching set of the type of cannons that are seen here in all photographs in around 1890. Now they're what are called a Monksy pattern 32-pounder. Now originally guns of this sort were all muzzle loaders. Now that means everything has to be packed in from the front. It takes more gun crew and it's slower to load them. It's also not as safe as later inventions. So when the technology comes around for breech loading, all guns of this sort were sent back to Woolwich in England and were converted. That means the backs were cut and the brass mechanism you see fitted to the rear. Now that means they can always now be loaded from the back. It's a lot simpler, a lot quicker and a lot safer. Now we've got the covers off two of our guns. We have uncovered them all because they've been cleaned for tonight's full gun salute that we have at around 8:30. But two of our guns, numbers 4 and 5, have actually got their charge of gunpowder in its silk bag already positioned in them. The reason that we're loading 2, even though we're only going to fire 1, is because we always use authentic, historically correct Victorian technology. We refuse to do this by any modern means. So because of this, there's always a chance that it could be faulty. You could have a misfire. Now if that happens, we've already got our second gun loaded as a plan B. We've got a spare gun ready. Now we're making ready. Now that's fitting the fuse to the top of the vent, that's the hole down into the main chamber where the gunpowder is. We're fitting a fuse to each of them in case we need the other, but that's fine-grain pistol gunpowder and a small key. When that's pulled, there'll be a spark down in the vent and then hopefully setting off the charge of gunpowder. Now you already hear there's a few church bells starting to chime up, ladies and gentlemen. We haven't missed the moment. They're not about as particular about timekeeping as we are. So, quite simply, they're wrong, we're right. Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's now officially afternoon. It's not easy working with the Victorian technology. Do give them a good round of applause. And I can remind you that we're going to be giving a guided tour of the saluting battery, so you can come down and take the tour of this refurbished historical site, but only one.